It was last March when NC State went on a big run and made it all the way to the Final Four, ending almost 4 decades of futility over in Raleigh. But now it looks like Kevin Keats' Wolfpack has a little bit of a hangover. The Wolfpack right now, 8-6 overall, guys, 1-2 in the ACC. They've lost their last two, and they are 0-3 in quad one games. David, it doesn't look good for Kevin Keats. In our first episode of Timeout, we talked about, was that Final Four run for the Wolfpack a fluke? We agreed that pretty much it was. If you're Boo Corrigan right now, how much of a focus do you have on trying to help Kevin Keats get better? Because you know he's not going to make a move on him, or you wouldn't think he would at the end of this season.
Well, there's a couple things there. And one, I'm intrigued to hear Coach Keating's opinion about how Kevin Keats won at UNC Wilmington, which was with a lot of quick, athletic, attacking guards in a league where you don't deal with a lot of quality big men. And he really won that way. Regular season titles, trips to the NCAA tournament, et cetera, before he was hired at NC State. Some people are skeptical that you can take the same way he won there at UNC Wilmington and win at NC State. So I would love Coach's thoughts on that. But in terms of the cashing in question, and we're all skeptical about this year's NC State team. It's not that it's a bad Wolfpack team. It's that they don't have anybody I would describe as one of the best players in the league. I think Pitt's going to make the NCAA tournament. They have one of the best players in the league in Jalen Lowe. We all know Duke's going to make it. They have a couple of the best players in the league, starting with Cooper Flagg, of course. Carolina, I still think, is a really good team. I know their record is ugly because of a tough schedule in part, but they still have R.J. Davis. They still have Ian Jackson, one of the best freshmen in this league. When healthy, they still have Seth Trimble, who I think has elevated his game to an all-ACC level. Same with Clemson. Chase Hunter's a quality veteran guard. Ian Shefflin's a quality veteran big man. They're all-ACC candidates when you think of that 15-man all-ACC team. I bring those guys up because at Pitt and Carolina and Duke and Clemson, probable NCAA tournament teams are definite ones. They're riding the shoulders of that combination of talent and experience. We could all have different opinions of who the best player on NC State is right now, but we might throw out three different players, right? Is it Marcus Hill, the transfer from the Mid-American Conference, who's a good scorer but doesn't help in a lot of other ways? Is it Dontrez Styles, the Georgetown transfer? Is it Ben Middlebrooks, the big man? I don't see an elite player on this NC State roster. And when you win an ACC title and you go to a Final Four, you would think that magic. Kevin Keats told us on the David Glenn show that he could already sense the rising interest in Wolfpack basketball, doors that were open, that were previously closed because of that March Madness run. They cashed in with some nice players, but I don't think they cashed in with all ACC players. And eventually, you need some dudes if you're going to be an NCAA tournament team. And they have a whole bunch of good players and probably not a single great player.
I think about the transfer portal and the two ends of the spectrum as to why kids would leave seemingly higher levels for the high level. And to me, you have the middling player on a high-level team that may not be able to crack through at his current school, but can contribute at, let's say, an SEC school, pick one of 13 this year, and potentially win a national championship. In between now, take success at, he went to NC State as an example. Now he's going to Kentucky. We can throw him a little bit of money because he has that perceived market value, which is not set. It's just an open-end spectrum right now. Look at NC State's top 6 players. Hill, Bowling Green, Taylor, Butler, Styles, you mentioned Georgetown, Middlebrooks, Clemson, Huntley Hatfield, Louisville, O'Connell, although pre-really madness, Stanford. They're all transfers, but not transfers that were like going to come in and impact your team and elevate your team. To your point, I think it's a fair statement. They're nice players, they're nice pieces. Go back to the guards that Kevin had at Wilmington. When I first got here 4 years ago and went to watch them play, I think it was Joyner and I can't remember the other guard that they had. And it was like, I was like, holy crap. These guys are just coming out and letting it rip. When your best player transfers from a lower level and elevates his play and your team's play to be the best player on the team, DJ Burns, now you mix in with some of the other pieces and State has their run. Where State's at right now is failure would be a strong word right now. But if you're going to live in that portal, if you're going to become that team in this league, you have to really either have a pretty deep pocketbook to go get a guy away from going to where he can be second or third for 100 grand, just making numbers up. Or you have to have a cadre of most likely guards, if not one really good young big, that bigs always mature late, are at the core of your team and they stay there. You have to go 7 guys down the roster before you find someone who's been in NC State for 4 years. Kevin's always known and been, ever since I remember working with him when he coached at Hargrave. He's a player's guy. He relates tremendously with the kids. And I'm not one to criticize coaching acumen because everyone's there for a reason. But you got to do something a little bit different nowadays with these guys. And to your point, David, having buttered your bread at a lower level with really quick, dynamic, athletic guards, they kind of had that in the early stages. They found the right guys early on. They were in this purgatory of like, are we going to, football's got the whole thing. We're going to pay everybody $25,000. There was just a mess of things going on at State. They benefited from getting a guy who comes from Winthrop and all of a sudden becomes, whoo, this guy is transformational. I mean, yeah, O'Connell hit the shot, but DJ Burns was that guy. And they don't have that guy. They don't have that guy that's that dynamic or have yet to go find the high-value free agent target in the portal that can take a pretty decent roster. And then we need a guy. Look at their averages. Yeah, it's nice they got 5 guys averaging between 9 and 12. They need a guy averaging 20. They need a guy averaging 20 and 8, 20 and 10, 20 and 7 assists, 2-to-1 assist turnover ratio. I don't know if this carries over into next year, but it's, to me, solely the reason why they're not really going to go anywhere this year because of their roster makeup.
And you know what's crazy, Mike, real quick? The Wolfpack was 10th in the ACC last year before they won the ACC tournament. They might be 10th in the ACC again this year. So it might be the same in most ways. Just that incredible ending was related to the elevated play of DJ Burns inside, the elevated play of DJ Horn outside. Those 2 transfers were far more impactful than anything you could say about Marcus Hill or Ben Middlebrooks or Brandon Huntley Hatfield or any of this year's guys.
So the verdict on NC State, fellas, postseason or not?
I could give you that in 1 second. No.
Depends on what kind of postseason you're talking about.
I was going to say, are they going to go by?
Here comes a guy who's like,
I
he won the
interpreted
CIT, he won the CBI. Like, I don't know, I didn't flushing it at State, but different day.
Hey, coach has won 2 postseason tournaments.
Hey, I'm undefeated in the postseason.
That's right. He has never lost.
Never lost in the postseason.
Never lost a post-conference postseason game. That's incredible.